scans and belongings under constant inspection, airport security can feel like a nightmare. But when you see what people have tried to sneak through, everything from alligators and tiger cubs to smoke grenades, and even a child, you'll understand why these security checks exist. Join us as we uncover the craziest things found by airport security. Number 21. The Meth Madness. In a twisted take on Tex-Mex cuisine, a man at Houston Airport decided to spice up his travel plans by attempting to smuggle methamphetamine inside a burrito. Yes, you heard that right. A burrito? This wasn't your typical bean and cheese combo, but rather a savory concoction of illegal drugs wrapped in a tortilla. Airport security officers, no strangers to creative smuggling attempts, quickly sniffed out the suspicious snack during routine screening. Upon closer inspection, they discovered several ounces of crystal meth carefully concealed within the burrito's filling. The culprit, clearly not a master chef in the art of subterfuge, tried to play it cool by claiming the meth-stuffed meal was just a regular part of his diet. Needless to say, the officers didn't buy his half-baked explanation and promptly arrested him for drug trafficking. Number 20. The CarryOn Grenade. Imagine reaching into your carry-on bag for a book or a snack only to pull out a live smoke grenade. That's exactly what could have happened at Newark Liberty International Airport in 2019, when eagle-eyed TSA officers discovered 6 military-grade smoke grenades nestled among a passenger's belongings. The grenades, each capable of filling an area with thick, vision-obscuring smoke, were artfully concealed in bubble wrap as if preparing for a very intense birthday party. The passenger, who was headed to the Dominican Republic, had apparently missed the memo that smoke grenades and airplanes don't mix. While it's legal to own smoke grenades in some states, trying to bring them onto a commercial flight is a big no-no. The consequences of accidentally setting one off mid-flight are the stuff of action movie nightmares. Thanks to the vigilant work of airport security, this potentially explosive situation was defused before takeoff. The grenades were confiscated, and the passenger was likely given a stern lesson in the art of packing light. Number 19. Boy in a suitcase. In a heart-wrenching attempt to reunite with his 8-year-old son, a father in Spain made the desperate decision to smuggle the boy inside a suitcase. The plan, as audacious as it was dangerous, was ultimately foiled by sharp-eyed airport security personnel. The incident unfolded at a border checkpoint between Morocco and the Spanish enclave of Ceuta. As the suitcase passed through the X-ray scanner, the operator noticed the unmistakable outline of a small child curled up inside. Shocked officials immediately opened the luggage to find the boy, alive but visibly distressed. Investigations revealed that the father, who had been living in Spain, had paid human traffickers a substantial sum to smuggle his son across the border. The child's mother, who was waiting on the Moroccan side, was reportedly unaware of the father's plan. While the father's desperation to be with his son is understandable, the risks involved in smuggling a child in a suitcase are immense. The boy could have easily suffocated or been seriously injured during the journey. Number 18. The Peanut Pocket Money Plot. To call it a bizarre plan would be an understatement. A passenger at New Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport tried to outsmart security by hiding rolled-up currency inside seemingly harmless snacks like biscuits and peanuts. The objective? Smuggling cash out of the country. Airport security officers, however, are trained to sniff out even the most creative smuggling attempts. During a routine luggage check, they noticed something odd about the traveler's snacks. Upon closer inspection, they discovered a substantial amount of cash carefully concealed within the food packaging. The officers, not content with just peanuts, decided to crack open the biscuits as well. Lo and behold, more rolled-up bills tumbled out. It was like a bizarre version of a vending machine prize, except instead of a toy, it dispensed illegal currency. The passenger, clearly caught red-handed, could only watch as their carefully hidden stash was uncovered piece by piece. In the end, their sneaky snack scheme amounted to little more than a hefty fine and a likely ban on future travel. Number 17. The Foul Luggage Fiasco. Dead birds in your luggage? It might sound like a scene from a horror movie, but for one passenger arriving at Dallas Airport in 2020, it was a bizarre reality. When customs officers decided to take a closer look at the traveler's bags, they were shocked to discover the lifeless bodies of several small birds hidden inside. The passenger, who had just flown in from China, claimed the birds were intended to be cat food. However, given the strict regulations surrounding the import of animal products, particularly from countries with a history of avian influenza, the officers were not convinced. In fact, the discovery triggered a full-scale biosecurity alert. Concerns about the potential spread of diseases like bird flu prompted authorities to immediately confiscate and incinerate the feathered contraband. This strange case highlights the critical role airport security plays in preventing the illegal importation of animals and animal products. Even seemingly harmless items, like a handful of deceased birds, can pose serious health risks if not properly declared and inspected. Number 16. The curious case of the cat in the bag. TSA officers at New York's JFK Airport were left feline, perplexed in 2022 when they spotted an unexpected passenger during a routine luggage X-ray. A live cat nestled among the clothing and toiletries. The orange tabby cat, named Smells, had somehow managed to sneak into a checked suitcase belonging to a traveler who was heading to Florida. The furry stowaway went unnoticed until the bag passed through the airport's security scanners. Puzzled TSA agents carefully opened the luggage, and to their surprise, the cat leaped out, unharmed but understandably confused. The owner of the suitcase was equally shocked, insisting that he had no idea how Smells had ended up in his bag. Further investigation revealed that the adventurous feline belonged to another tenant in the same apartment building as the traveler. Smells had a reputation for being curious and mischievous, often sneaking into open suitcases and boxes in search of cozy napping spots. The incident caused a brief security scare, but was quickly resolved once the cat's identity and owner were confirmed. Smells was safely returned home, and the traveler was allowed to continue his journey, albeit without his unexpected carry-on. Number 15. The Teddy Bear Tiger Trick. When it comes to smuggling exotic animals, some criminals will stop at nothing to get their precious cargo through airport security. In a shocking incident at Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi Airport, a woman's luggage was found to contain a sedated tiger cub hidden among plush toy tigers. The cub, just a few months old, had been drugged and carefully placed among the stuffed animals in an attempt to disguise it as just another toy. However, X-ray machines are designed to detect organic material, and the cub's small body stood out among the synthetic fluff. Customs officers, upon making the discovery, immediately contacted wildlife authorities. The woman, who was traveling to Iran, claimed she had no knowledge of the cub's presence in her bag. However, investigation suggested she was likely a paid wildlife smuggler, The cub was taken into the care of a local animal welfare organization where it was nursed back to health. Unfortunately, this incident is just one example of the rampant illegal wildlife trade that threatens many endangered species worldwide. Airport security plays a vital role in detecting and intercepting these smuggling attempts, but it's a constant battle against criminals who will go to any lengths to profit from the exploitation of exotic animals. Number 14. The Cane Wick. A Colombian man's bad hair day turned into a nightmare when he was caught attempting to smuggle over a pound of cocaine under an oversized toupee at Barcelona airport in 2019. The 65-year-old man's suspicious wiggy behavior caught the attention of airport security, who decided to investigate his unusually tall hairpiece. Upon closer inspection, officers discovered a packet containing 1.1 pounds of cocaine worth an estimated $34,000, carefully concealed beneath the toupee. The man's nervous demeanor and unconvincing hair-raising disguise were dead giveaways that something was amiss. This bizarre attempt to use a toupee as a drug mule is just one example of the creative lengths smugglers will go to in order to evade detection. However, as this case proves, even the most harebrained schemes can be foiled by alert airport security personnel. The man was promptly arrested and charged with drug smuggling, facing a potential prison sentence of up to 3 years. His toupee, however, was confiscated as evidence, leaving him to face the consequences of his actions with a bare head and a bruised ego. Number 13. The Fantastic Fish Fiasco. Something fishy was afoot at Melbourne Airport in 2005 when a woman was caught attempting to smuggle 51 live tropical fish beneath her skirt. The 43-year-old woman, who had just arrived from Singapore, was spotted by airport security after they noticed suspicious flipping and flopping sounds coming from under her clothing. Upon investigation, officers discovered that the woman was wearing a specially designed apron under her skirt, which contained 15 plastic bags filled with water and live fish. The bags were strategically placed around her waist and legs, creating a bizarre aquatic undergarment. The fish, which included several rare and exotic species, were likely destined for the illegal pet trade. The woman's creative smuggling attempt was floundering, and she found herself in hot water with the authorities. In Australia, smuggling live animals carries serious penalties, including fines of up to $110,000 and 10 years in prison. The woman's fishy fashion statement ended up costing her dearly, as she was arrested and charged with illegal importation of wildlife. The fish, meanwhile, were removed from their makeshift mobile aquarium and taken into the care of a local aquarium. They were later identified as a variety of endangered species, including the Asian arowana, which can fetch thousands of dollars on the black market. Number 12. Unusual travel arrangements. In a macabre twist on the concept of traveling with carry-on luggage, a mother and daughter duo shocked airport security at Liverpool John Lennon Airport in 2012 when they attempted to transport the body of a deceased 91-year-old man in a wheelchair. The bizarre incident unfolded when the women, aged 41 and 66, tried to check in for a flight to Berlin with the man's body propped up in a wheelchair, wearing sunglasses and a hat. They claimed that the man was simply sleeping and insisted on bringing him on board. However, eagle-eyed airport staff noticed that the man appeared unresponsive and alerted authorities. Upon closer examination, it was discovered that the man had passed away in the days prior to the flight. Investigations revealed that the women had conspired to transport the man's body to Germany without proper documentation or following the necessary legal procedures. They had allegedly hoped to avoid the high costs and bureaucratic hurdles associated with transporting a body abroad. The women were arrested and charged with failing to give notification of a death and attempting to smuggle a body without a permit. The incident sparked a review of airport security procedures and raised questions about the screening process for passengers with reduced mobility. Number 11. Hidden alligator. Imagine opening your luggage after a long flight, only to find a pair of beady eyes staring back at you. That's exactly what could have happened to unsuspecting passengers if a 42-year-old American man had succeeded in his attempt to smuggle a live alligator through Munich airport in 2022. The man, who was traveling from Munich to Singapore, had concealed the 1.5-foot-long juvenile alligator in his luggage, wrapping it in plastic and placing it in a dark corner of his suitcase. However, the reptilian stowaway was discovered during a routine X-ray scan of the man's baggage. Shocked airport security personnel immediately contacted wildlife experts, who carefully removed the distressed alligator from its cramped confines. The animal was found to be in poor health due to the stress of the journey and the lack of proper care. The man, who claimed he had purchased the alligator as a pet during a trip to the United States, was arrested and charged with violating Germany's animal protection laws. He faced a hefty fine and potential imprisonment for his reckless attempt to smuggle the exotic animal. The alligator, meanwhile, was taken to a local reptile shelter, where it received veterinary care and rehabilitation. Number 10. A stunning discovery. Airport security is always on the lookout for potentially dangerous items, but sometimes the discoveries they make are both alarming and amusing. In 2021, TSA officers at Bradley International Airport in Connecticut were shocked to find a pink lipstick stun gun and 3 rounds of .38 caliber ammunition in a passenger's carry-on bag. The lipstick stun gun, a compact device designed to resemble a harmless cosmetic product, packs a powerful punch. When activated, it can deliver a debilitating electric shock, making it a prohibited item in carry-on luggage. To further complicate matters, the passenger's bag also contained live ammunition, which is strictly forbidden in both carry-on and checked baggage without proper documentation and packaging. The combination of the two items raised serious concerns about the traveler's intentions. TSA officers quickly notified local law enforcement, who questioned the passengers about the unusual and potentially dangerous items in their luggage. The traveler claimed that the lipstick stun gun was for personal protection, but failed to provide a satisfactory explanation for the ammunition. While some travelers may argue that items like stun guns are necessary for self-defense, the potential for misuse and the risk they pose to other passengers and crew members far outweigh any perceived benefits. It's crucial for travelers to familiarize themselves with the rules and regulations regarding prohibited items before packing their bags to avoid potentially serious consequences. Number 9. The Songbird smuggling scandal. In a bizarre case of feathered felony, a man was caught attempting to smuggle 35 live songbirds through a New York City airport in 2021. The birds, concealed inside hair curlers strategically attached to the man's clothing, were discovered during a routine security screening. The 39-year-old man, who had just arrived on a flight from Guyana, was found to have the tiny birds hidden in small plastic hair rollers, which were carefully attached to the inside of his jacket and pants. The curlers had been modified with small holes to allow the birds to breathe during the smuggling attempt. Further investigation revealed that the man had been promised $5,000 to deliver the birds to a contact in the United States. The songbirds, which include species like finches and canaries, are highly prized in the underground bird singing competition circuit, where they can fetch thousands of dollars each. The illegal trade in exotic birds is a lucrative and cruel business, with smugglers going to great lengths to transport these delicate creatures across borders. Many birds do not survive the journey, succumbing to stress, dehydration, or suffocation in the cramped and unnatural conditions of their makeshift cages. The man was arrested and charged with unlawful wildlife smuggling, facing up to 5 years in prison and a hefty fine. The birds, meanwhile, were carefully removed from their hair roller prisons and placed in the care of a local animal welfare organization. Number 8. The foul play firearm fiasco. In a bizarre attempt to smuggle a weapon through airport security, a traveler at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport was caught concealing a handgun inside a raw chicken. The firearm was discovered during a routine X-ray screening of the passenger's carry-on luggage, leaving TSA officers scratching their heads at the unusual sight. The gun, which was later identified as a .22 caliber revolver, had been carefully wrapped in plastic and shoved inside the cavity of the chicken. The passenger, whose identity has not been revealed, claimed that the weapon was intended for personal protection during their travels. However, TSA regulations strictly prohibit the carrying of firearms, loaded or unloaded, in carry-on baggage. Passengers who wish to transport firearms must properly pack them in checked luggage, unloaded, and in a locked, hard-sided container, and declare them to the airline at check-in. The discovery of the chicken-concealed handgun caused quite a stir at the airport, with fellow passengers expressing disbelief at the audacity of the smuggling attempt. Some even joked about the passengers' foul play and the TSA's poultry-in-motion response. Number 7. The Golden Wig. An Indian man's attempt to smuggle a fortune in gold through airport security was foiled by his own harebrained scheme. The 37-year-old passenger was stopped by customs officials at Chennai International Airport after they noticed his unusually bulky hairpiece. Upon closer inspection, officers discovered that the man's wig was concealing a staggering 1.5 pounds of gold, worth an estimated $43,000. The precious metal had been crafted into thin sheets and carefully hidden beneath the artificial hair in a brazen attempt to evade detection. India, one of the world's largest consumers of gold, has seen a surge in smuggling attempts in recent years due to high import duties and taxes on precious metals. Smugglers have resorted to increasingly creative methods to bypass airport security, including hiding gold in clothing, shoes, and even body cavities. However, the wig smugglers' plan quickly unraveled under the scrutiny of vigilant customs officers. The man, who had arrived on a flight from Dubai, was arrested and charged with gold smuggling, facing a potential prison sentence and hefty fines. The seized gold was confiscated by authorities, likely to be auctioned off at a later date. As for the hapless smuggler, his golden dreams were snatched away, leaving him to face the consequences of his hair-raising scheme. Number 6. The Wheelchair of Misfortune. When Customs and Border Protection officers at New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport decided to inspect a passenger's wheelchair in 2022, they had no idea they were about to uncover a major drug smuggling operation. The officers grew suspicious when they noticed that the wheelchair's wheels were not turning properly, prompting them to take a closer look. To their astonishment, the officers discovered approximately 28 pounds of cocaine hidden within the wheelchair's wheels. The drugs, which had an estimated street value of over $450,000, had been carefully concealed in the wheel hubs and tires, making the wheelchair appear almost identical to a standard mobility device. Further investigation revealed that the passenger, a 22-year-old woman from the Dominican Republic, had been recruited by a drug trafficking organization to transport the cocaine into the United States. The woman, who claimed to have no knowledge of the hidden drugs, was arrested and charged with federal narcotics smuggling offenses. The wheelchair cocaine caper was foiled by the keen instincts and thorough inspection procedures of the CBP officers. The seized drugs were turned over to the DEA for further investigation, while the passenger faced the consequences of her unwitting involvement in the smuggling scheme. Now, it's time for today's subscriber pick. It was reported that a woman tried to smuggle something by concealing it within her body. When she attempted to pass through airport security, authorities grew suspicious and conducted a thorough inspection. An X-ray revealed a hidden bag of cocaine inside her. This method of drug trafficking, where individuals act as drug mules, has become increasingly common. While some manage to evade detection, others face arrest. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments. Number 5. The Turtl Tape Travesty. In a shocking case of wildlife trafficking, authorities at Manila's Ninoy Aquino International Airport in the Philippines uncovered a staggering 1,500 live turtles hidden inside 4 abandoned suitcases in 2019. The turtles, which included rare and protected species such as the Philippine forest turtle and the Asian box turtle, had been cruelly bound with duct tape and stuffed into the luggage without food, water, or ventilation. The discovery was made during a routine X-ray screening of the suitcases, which had been left unclaimed in the airport's arrivals area. Upon opening the bags, customs officials were horrified to find the turtles in such dire conditions, with many of them appearing dehydrated, malnourished, and struggling to breathe. Further investigation revealed that the suitcases had originated from Hong Kong and were believed to be part of a larger wildlife smuggling ring that supplies the illegal pet trade in Southeast Asia and China. The turtles were estimated to be worth over $87,000 on the black market, where they are prized for their exotic appearance and rarity. The Philippine Bureau of Customs turned the turtles over to the Department of Environment and Natural Resources Wildlife Traffic Monitoring Unit, where they received immediate medical attention and rehabilitation. Sadly, several of the turtles had already perished due to the brutal conditions of their confinement, while others were in critical condition. Number 4. The Peanut Butter Pot. When a jar of peanut butter triggered a security alarm at Pittsburgh International Airport, TSA officers were prepared for a routine search. However, what they found hidden inside the creamy spread was far from ordinary. Upon opening the jar, officers discovered 3 vape canisters containing marijuana, carefully wrapped in plastic bags and nestled within the peanut butter. The passenger, whose identity has not been released, claimed that the cannabis was for medicinal purposes and that they had a valid prescription. However, TSA regulations are clear. Marijuana, medicinal or otherwise, is still illegal under federal law and is prohibited in both carry-on and checked baggage. Passengers who are caught attempting to bring marijuana through airport security can face serious legal consequences, including arrest and prosecution. The discovery of the peanut butter pot stash sparked a wave of pun-laden headlines and social media jokes, with many people expressing amazement at the passenger's creative, if misguided, attempt at concealment. Some even speculated that the individual may have been trying to take advantage of the TSA's notoriously lax stance on peanut butter, which is allowed in both carry-on and checked luggage. In the end, The passenger was detained and questioned by local law enforcement, who confiscated the marijuana and issued a citation for possession. The peanut butter, now sans its illegal filling, was likely discarded, serving as a cautionary tale for anyone tempted to use food as a drug mule. Number 3. The skull in the suitcase. When an unsuspecting German professor was stopped by airport security at Rome's Fiumicino airport, he had no idea that the souvenir he'd picked up at a local market would land him in hot water. The 57-year-old man, who had been visiting Italy for a conference, was shocked when officers discovered a human skull carefully wrapped in newspaper and tucked away in his suitcase. The professor, whose identity has not been released, claimed that he had purchased the skull for €50 at a market stall in Rome, believing it to be an antique anatomical specimen. He had planned to take the skull back to Germany to display in his office, unaware that transporting human remains across international borders is strictly regulated and requires special permits. Upon discovering the skull, airport security immediately contacted local law enforcement, and the professor was detained for questioning. The skull was confiscated and sent to the scientific department of the Italian police for analysis, where experts determined that it was likely an archaeological artifact dating back several centuries. Further investigation revealed that the market vendor who sold the skull to the professor had been illegally trading in archaeological artifacts and human remains, fueling a shadowy underworld of black market antiquities. The vendor was subsequently arrested and charged with a variety of offenses related to the illicit trade in cultural heritage. As for the professor, he faced potential charges of illegally exporting human remains and was forced to cut his trip short to deal with the legal fallout of his macabre souvenir. Number 2. The Tarantula Takeoff. Imagine opening your suitcase after a long flight, only to find it crawling with hundreds of live tarantulas. That's exactly the nightmare scenario that unfolded at Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport when a German couple's luggage was found to contain a veritable arachnid army. The couple, who had just arrived on a flight from Peru, were stopped by border control officers during a routine luggage check. When the officers opened one of the couple's suitcases, they were shocked to discover dozens of plastic boxes containing live tarantulas, as well as a variety of other exotic insects, including millipedes, beetles, and grasshoppers. In total, the couple was found to be carrying over 200 live specimens, many of which are protected under international wildlife laws. The animals, which had been carefully packaged and labeled, were believed to be destined for the illegal exotic pet trade, where they can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars apiece. The discovery triggered a major security response, with the airport's animal control team called in to safely remove and contain the creepy-crawly contraband. The tarantulas, some of which were as large as a human hand, were carefully placed in secure containers and transported to a nearby animal shelter for evaluation and care. As for the German couple, they were immediately arrested and charged with smuggling protected species, a serious offense that carries hefty fines and potential prison time. The couple claimed that they had been given the animals by a friend in Peru and had no idea that transporting them was illegal, but authorities were skeptical of their story. Number 1. The Lobster Luggage Lark. When it comes to packing for a trip, everyone has their essentials: clothes, toiletries, and live lobsters. At least, that was the case for one traveler at Boston Logan Airport in 2017, who decided to bring along a crustacean companion in their checked luggage. Upon inspection, TSA officers discovered the 20-pound lobster nestled among the suitcases, likely dreaming of buttery dinners to come. Surprisingly, This aquatic carry-on wasn't against the rules. The TSA actually allows live lobsters in both checked and carry-on bags, provided they're properly packaged. In this case, the clawed commuter was carefully contained in a clear plastic bag, complete with a moist towel to keep it comfortable during the journey. Transporting live lobsters is a fairly common practice in New England, where the tasty crustaceans are a regional delicacy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.